Twin flames. Understanding the connection. A guide to unusual signs and synchronicities. A twin flame is simply a person who equally shares your soul, and as such, your soul effortlessly remembers and feels connected to their energy when you meet. A twin flame connection consists of a runner or divine masculine, assumed to be the male, and a chaser or divine feminine, assumed to be the female. These labels are not assigned by gender, but by the energy each person carries at any time. Therefore, the chaser, usually the female, the more spiritually awakened, exhibits the divine masculine energy, as the pursuer, and the runner, usually the male, less spiritually awakened, exhibits the divine feminine energy, as the withdrawer. Just a few years ago these were the terms and the meanings, however they seem to have evolved over time depending on the source you use. It is just as well then, that these labels are not important, and the energies often switch between each person throughout the journey. One of the signs that you've met your twin flame is the instant jolt of recognition. Not necessarily recognition by their appearance, but a soulful or spiritual memory that draws you in. This is soul recognition. Your soul remembers their soul, but your 3D mind cannot recall them from your past. Many twin flames describe feeling an internal jolt, followed by tingling sensations in the chest or upper torso area. This is said to be the point where your heart chakras open up and align. Emotions are stronger. The inner voice of your higher self may even become audible. You may experience spiritual downloads or epiphanies that you've known this stranger for thousands of years, although you have never met before. You may sense complete trust in them, which does not make sense to you, but this trust does not need to be earned or questioned. The trust just is. With that, may come a huge sense of relief that you've finally found them, after all this time, as if you have been searching for them for years. In reality, in the 3D realm, you have not. But in the spirit realm, your soul has been searching and guiding your steps towards each other from the day you were born. Some gurus state that we agreed to embark on this phenomenon when we were in a higher realm, before we were born, with soul separation occurring within that higher realm. Others claim to have experienced the soul separation on Earth. This would suggest it occurred when the other twin was born or conceived, with the experience conjuring an immediate inner truth that something or someone was missing, even as a very young child. One twin flame has also confirmed that this experience coincides with their twin flame age gap. Another sign is the intensity. Twin flame connections are rare, deeply transformative and intense to say the least. Those that have heard of the term romanticize it, and desperately seek to find a twin flame, but a twin flame connection is deeper than any 3D marital love, or manufactured pairing. Those who are genuinely part of a twin flame connection know how unromantic and devastating it can be, due to the nature of the spiritual tie, one that is not picked or built for comfort or status, or forced by tradition, but one that has been orchestrated by the universe, God, the divine. As we didn't actively choose it in this lifetime, we cannot choose to escape it. Despite the intensity, however, the chaser unintentionally repels the runner, like matching magnetic poles, energetically pushing the runner away, as she pursues him. Then, there is the switch in energies, and the initial runner wants to pull the initial chaser back in, but only when the initial chaser reflects runner energy, by withdrawing. To say twin flames are never on the same page at the same time, would be an understatement. This is an emotionally exhausting push and pull phase. While one person pulls away, for fear of intimacy, and to maintain freedom and avoid vulnerability, the other pushes forward, seeking closeness, towards the part of their soul they missed their whole lives. This is also mirroring, another sign of the connection. Mirroring reflects our emotional wounds, fears, weaknesses and strengths. In truth, a chaser and their runner are both experiencing the same intensity, of the same wounds, whether triggered by family, each other, or other sources. For example, a chaser with childhood abandonment wounds due to carelessness or neglect, seeks the frequency they belong to, and chases the deep emotional connection, whereas, a runner may also have childhood abandonment wounds, due to an absent parent, after a divorce, but in turn, fears intimacy, and instead runs away, from deep emotional connections. So dealing with the same wounds, different circumstances, while using opposite coping strategies, as orchestrated by the divine. The universe only allows us to meet, when our souls are ready and in need of major growth. Further, we don't actively choose our twin flame because of a crush, their physique, or anything physically attractive. Physical attraction quickly develops, but it is not the reason we stay bonded through the heartache. The unconditional love is. Even in absence and separation we feel bonded by an invisible red thread, attached from one twin, to the other. What's your view? Are you experiencing a twin flame connection? Other signs include more unusual synchronicities not commonly discussed anywhere else. These can occur before ever hearing of, or meeting your twin flame. Synchronicities such as seeing repeated numbers, example, 11, 11 or 33, 33, seeing their name on street signs, or storefronts, seeing your own name on storefronts, and wondering if your twin sees reminders of you too. A strong sense that someone is missing from your life, may be interpreted as missing a sibling you'd never had. Signs noted during separation include feeling their stronger emotions, even seeing an unusual amount of twins in one day, which no one else seems to notice. I often finished work tasks at 11 a.m. regardless of the routine. Even our front door numbers each add up to 11. Being woken up by the sound of them breathing, hearing them telepathically. These have been other reported signs. A lack of guidance. Spotting signs authentically, without researching, but relying solely on our own intuition, is what most twin flames have to do to get through this journey. This is especially true for twin flames who met 15 to 20 years ago, when this concept was not a popular topic like it is today. This makes the process painful but authentic. We are never sure we are doing the right thing. This keeps us stuck in the twin flame loop. As our mind versus our soul, our logic versus emotions, principle versus the connection, do I choose me versus should I keep choosing you? It really feels like we are contemplating between life versus death. Whichever choice a twin makes will eventually lead to separation, which triggers D-knots. However, some instead describe experiencing D-knots first, brought on by the devastation of repetitive push and pull phases, which then results in separation, as DF finally but crushingly prioritizes themselves. Dark Night of the Soul explained. Dark Night of the Soul, or D-knots, is arguably the most depressing phase of this journey. D-knots cannot be avoided by either twin flame. It is the rock bottom all twin flames need to experience at some point in this journey. This fundamental rock bottom will either break us, or force us to heal. Regardless of the strong and unique twin flame connection, it is said the purpose is not for perfect romance. The purpose is healing and transformation. And we cannot experience true healing and transformation unless we go through absolute separation. It is the only way twin flames can return to one another as two whole souls, not needing the other to survive. Yes, we still love them, but we know we can survive without them. Separation could last for weeks, months or years, with multiple short pauses in between. One twin flame noted their separation lasted for 25 years before they came to union. After all that time, she worried her aging would cause rejection. It did not. He assured her his feelings remain the same, but this time after healing, he felt safe enough to be consumed with the intensity of the bond. But remember, separation is not failure. It is our period of physical and energetic distance from our twin flame. This is our catalyst for growth and alignment within ourselves. During this separation, focus on self, individual growth, introspection. Yes, our twin flame is on our minds and in our hearts 24/7, but our healing is the magnet that brings two whole souls to union, like when we first met. Union comes when both partners evolve, when neither is pushing, pulling, chasing, or running, but when both have surrendered the connection and find balance. Whether they stay in union depends on whether each soul remains adjusted to their ordained energies. It also depends on what we agreed our mission or purpose was in the 3D realm on Earth. If they revert to their old runner-chaser dynamics, they will upset the balance and start the painful push-pull cycle again, until they can realign themselves once more. This may sound simple, but with the intensity of the emotions and the spiritual bonding, in practice, it is devastating for both the runner and the chaser. This is why only a few are chosen in this lifetime to go through this process, when their souls are ready and strong enough for major growth, to fulfill their purpose with the strongest foundation. Let us know what you think and share your experiences in the comments.